Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're gonna talk about XRP. And once again, I'm gonna play a few video clips of Brad because the things that Brad said in this interview, you could see where XRP is going from here. And it solidifies a lot of what I've been telling you along the way. Take a listen to this.
That long ago that XRP was the second most valuable digital asset. And again, that's before you had these exogenous factors that I would say were unnatural, maybe not ethical in debate, but, and I think now you're seeing that change. And I think, with a level playing field, I almost think about it as if you hold a basketball under the water long enough, eventually you let go of it and it shoots up. But why are we surprised by this? Somebody was holding it underwater and now it's rising. So look, I feel like it feels somewhat vindicating, I'll be honest with you. But, I think we should measure these over a long arc of time. I encourage Ripple employees, yes, we are aware that XRP has gone up in value, but we really do try to take a very long-term view about, what we're building and how that contributes to an internet of value.
So what Brad's saying is that the price of XRP was being suppressed by the SEC. All of a sudden, that pressure came off once Trump won the election and the price of XRP took off. It was like holding a basketball underwater and somebody let it go. But I still don't think XRP made up the value that it should have made up. I think it was being suppressed for so long, it's going to take time for that value to end up back in the price of XRP. But he also said you got to look at it long term. When Brad's telling you, hold it long term, pretty much, hold it long term, because XRP is only going to go up from here. There's a lot of catalysts that are really going to send it upward, and it's all utility-based catalyst. ISO, Ripple IPO, even the Ripple versus SEC case ending, crypto regulations. You got to factor all of that in before you ever sell any of your XRP. Mega bomb drop. There's some talk about a crypto reserve. I think that would end up including Bitcoin and other technologies, which frankly just makes sense from a diversification point of view. Take a listen to Brad here.
Yeah, I mean, years ago, before Biden was elected, what the words I used to use is, I just want a level playing field. The U.S. government shouldn't be picking winners and losers. And, as much as I'm pro Bitcoin and pro ETH, the SEC, people forget this, but XRP used to be the second most valuable digital asset after Bitcoin. The United States SEC then gets involved in picking winners and saying, hey, ETH gets a pass, but XRP doesn't. And look, this is in my view, very un-American. And to your point, I think it used to be, I just asked for a level playing field. It does feel like, and I think certainly if you look at the crypto markets as a barometer, it would, this administration is putting America first. And we shall see. It's still, there's things to play out and things to happen. But I think indications are that, if, for example, there's some talk about a crypto reserve, and I think that would end up including Bitcoin and other technologies, which, frankly, just makes sense from a diversification point of view. And so I'm very optimistic that it is a new dawn for the crypto industry in the United States. The United States has led in many technical innovations, and it was leading in crypto, and some of the leading global companies are based here in the United States. But the last.
So take notice, even Brad said global companies are based here in the United States. He knows Ripple at this point is a global company. Honestly, the US and these crypto reserves, I don't think they're ever going to make a Bitcoin reserve. I think that has a lot of push coming from Trump and a few other politicians. But even with the pro crypto Congress, you got a lot of people in Congress that think it's a dumbass idea. And I think it's stupid also. Because now we're going to take this money, we're going to buy Bitcoin, and all of a sudden, Tether implodes, takes the price of Bitcoin down with it. And what, we bought high and now we're going to sell low? It makes no sense to me. And I want to take you back to January 2021. This is what people were looking at back then. SEC, Gary Gensler, pro crypto. We see how that played out. CFTC, Chris Brummer, author of Crypto Assets. OCC, Michael Barr, former Ripple employee. U.S. Treasury, Janet Yellen, pro crypto. We see how that played out. ECB, Christine Lagarde, pro Ripple. That has not changed. BIS, Central Bank Digital Currencies, Cross-Border Payments, XRP. We see how that built out since 2021. I'm going to talk about Michael Barr in a minute, but I want to show you what Jeremy Hogan put out earlier today. He says, I've been getting some questions about January 15th SEC filing deadline in the Ripple vs. SEC appeal. Don't be surprised when the SEC's brief is filed timely, and don't be dismayed. This is still Gensler's SEC. The filing on January 15th has no effect on whether the case will be settled. I think likely it will be settled, he says, or dismissed by the new administration. An attorney is working hard on this brief as we speak, knowing that all his effort is probably for naught. A tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Perhaps a fitting end to the war on crypto. I think they're going to file that, but I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I still think that case is going to be wrapped up ahead of Fed now. That's my honest view on that. This comes from Eleanor Tourette. The Federal Reserve Board has announced the resignation of Michael Barr as vice chair for supervision. Barr will remain on the Board of Governors. So let's take a look at Michael Barr. And I'm going to give you my thoughts on this. This can only mean one thing. It's done. We are ready, just in time for Trump and the new financial system. A lot of people are thinking that he had to be removed as supervisor, but he's going to remain at the Federal Reserve. Breaking, the digital euro is on the move. In a recent video, Christine Lagarde has just announced it's entering the preparation phase. The president of the ECB had a meeting with Michael Barr, a former Ripple advisor. So if Christine Lagarde is meeting with Michael Barr, now that was back in October of 2023. In November of 2023, BizShares program for DC FinTech Week featuring Brad Garlinghouse and Michael Barr, a former Ripple advisor, as main speakers. Gary Gensler was also there as well. They even said, ironically, they might share the stage with Gary Gensler. So if you look at this in the right way, Michael Barr could have been just going through the motions at the Fed, all knowing along the way that Ripple was going to be involved. XRP was going to be involved with Fed now. He also met with Christine Lagarde. We know how she looks at Ripple and XRP. She sees it as the future. Also, with the BIS there, that tells you that everything is going according to plan. Now, people look at some of this as bad news because they look at Michael Barr as anti-crypto in some ways. But everything now is going towards regulations. Everything is happening for a reason right now, in my opinion. I think everything that we're watching is like a movie playing out. And at the end of the movie, we get the happy ending that we were all waiting for. Let's see what happens next. We do have our own balance sheet that if a problem were to exist, we are in position to help solve those. Take a listen to what Brad says about Tether. He does say he's pro-Tether in this clip.
So you look, as I'm sure many people who follow you are well aware, and I know you know this pretty well. The stablecoin market today globally is about $200 billion. About 70% of that is Tether or USDT. Probably another 20% of that is USDC, which is Circle's kind of solution in the marketplace. And then there's a longer tail after that of smaller players. Tether is, I'm pro Tether and an advocate. The U.S. government, I think, is less so. That may change also, but Tether has intentionally set up outside the United States, outside of kind of the long arm of the U.S. Regulator, and I think that gives some major institutions pause about interest in working with them. And our view has been there's an opportunity for a trusted brand like Ripple, who has a lot of experience with institutions, a lot of experience with payment flows, to bring a product to market that is truly the most trusted. That we will be the first to come out under with a New York trust license. We will be doing monthly attestations, and I think we do have our own balance sheet that if problems were to exist, we were in a position to actually help solve those. So now, how will it coexist with XRP? Well, first of all, any liquidity on the XRP ledger is a good thing. It's good for the whole XRP ecosystem, and the more liquidity on there, including stablecoins, it reduces friction and the ability to do things, particularly in the DeFi world. There's some native technologies embedded in the XRP ledger, a decentralized exchange, a DEX, a AMM, automated market maker, and embedding a stablecoin, a robust stablecoin, a trusted stablecoin like Ripple USD, we think will actually help that. I don't think it competes with XRP as a different solution, because really we think about that as the bridge currency, right? So RLUSD, Ripple USD is $1. Bridge currency is going in and out of other currencies, and having the most liquid, most efficient bridge currency between various currencies around the world, we think is a needed solution in scaling global commerce.
Like I've been saying all along, XRP is going to be moving RLUSD. And even Brad said it strengthens the entire ecosystem. RLUSD is only going to make XRP stronger. But when he talked about Tether, take notice, he said they set up shop outside the United States, outside the regulator's view. And now the US, they're not going to push forward with Tether. I know a lot of people keep saying, oh, Trump's going to be pro-Tether. No, he's not. Because once regulations are put in place, if you put in regulations that are going to keep something around that is totally tied to fraud and manipulation and can't pass an audit, the rest of the world is going to look at you as the laughingstock of the world. Because you look at Mika, you see how fast Mika pushed Tether out of the EU. I'm expecting the same thing to happen here in the United States. And again, that might happen by design. Take out Tether, it pulls Bitcoin down with it, the narrative shifts, and all of a sudden we start to push towards a solution to a major problem. And all of a sudden, you have to push into a new financial system. You know what would cause a major crisis if you really think about it? And this is just my theory, my own opinion. The US decides to have a Bitcoin reserve. So we buy up all this Bitcoin. All of a sudden, Tether comes plummeting down. Price of Bitcoin goes with it. That's a major crisis now. That's just one part of a major crisis. You also have a liquidity crisis with the banks. Now we need a solution to all of these problems that occurred all at once. What's the solution? XRP and on-demand liquidity. We all know for years the Fed has been working with Ripple. Ripple was meeting with Trump in 2017 and 2018. Then right away, the Fed started working on a digital dollar. You think all of that happened by chance, by coincidence? No, that happened for a reason. Then Ripple started really amping up and pushing ahead. So now we have to slow Ripple down. And we have to make Ripple legit in the United States. We have to make them trusted in the United States. So what do? We open up a SEC versus Ripple case. We drag it out for 4 years. We slow Ripple down. And at the same time, Ripple gets vetted to be used inside the U.S. financial system. That could be what actually has been going on for the last 4 years. But now it's go time. Ripple had all that time to set up all those rails throughout the rest of the world. Connect the U.S. to China. Connect the U.S. to India. Connect the U.S. to the EU, to the U.K. Because all those rails now exist. A lot of those rails were not set up back in 2020. And I'm just thinking out loud. But then all of a sudden now, it's time to go live with XRP on those rails. Do you know how fast the price of XRP would change? Like that overnight event, that flip of the switch moment. And all of a sudden you'd have XRP being locked away. Ripple maybe puts out a big announcement. We are sending X amount of the escrow to the IMF, to the BIS, like people always thought would happen. I do believe Ripple will hold on to about 25% of that escrow because they're still building out and growing. They're going to make more acquisitions as well. But that's just my thoughts. What are your thoughts? Am I onto something with that way of thinking, or am I totally wrong on it? Because I don't ever pretend to be right about everything. You know, I'm human, just like all of you. And I always told you, I keep you going, you keep me going. Because during the bear market, it was tough doing this. Keeping positive, keeping you positive, keeping you going. But along the way, a lot of you kept me going as well. I used to read through the comment section all the time. And that would make me want to make a positive video every single day. But that's how we got to the point where we're at right now. And like I said, I'm not right about everything. I'm human. And I'm always open to all of your thoughts as well. So put it in the comments section down below. And until it all happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.